It's the fourth flight of the wine challenge. Still in Hollywood, still with my friend Greg St. Clair of K&L Wine Merchants. We had a great tasting of Rioja. That was really exciting. I mean, I don't know how you can top that. What do you have this time?
I'm glad that you remembered it's the fourth tasting, because I wouldn't have, but nonetheless. So this is the real challenge for most of us retailers, is price point Bordeaux.
Okay.
So this is 2009 Bordeaux, under 20.
Under 20.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with a great vintage like 2009 or 2010, it's easier to find really good value Bordeaux. And unfortunately in America, Bordeaux, they just think of first growths, thousands of dollars a bottle. That's not the case. There's some really good things.
Especially in this vintage. These are the wines you can buy now. You buy a case or two, throw them in your cellar for 5, 8, 12 years, and wow, they're going to drink spectacularly at a margin of the price. You can get 8 cases of this for 1 bottle of what you buy of a first growth.
Okay, let's see what you can do here. I like your rationale there. That's a good one. Right away, good color. Beautiful. You're getting this ripe fruit, a little meatiness, blackberries.
Although, you know, we have a problem here when everyone says ripe fruit in California. It always has that image of Paso Robles, you know, where it's just so hot, so ripe, so thick. But this is just completely matured fruit.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because, you know, I've lived so long in Europe. When I say ripe fruit, it's more in the Bordeaux sense.
Right.
You're right. Ripe fruit isn't overripe fruit or raisiny like
Right.
you get in a lot of hot areas in California.
And this wine really, even in the nose, you can smell completely ripe, but it has a real focus. You can almost smell the acidity in the nose. It has such great balance.
And it's so fresh.
Yes.
Right away, I like the tannins. There's a mineral character, almost walnuts to it. And don't you like that slightly austere character to it? I like the austerity because the tannins refreshen your palate. It makes you, again, want to eat something. It's going to be so great with food.
I mean, these wines have been out for, you know, a little bit of time in the marketplace. And initially they had that luscious, thick, sweet fruit. But now they're closing up just a little bit, becoming more traditional style Bordeaux, so they're not ripe or thicker. And it's one of the mistakes a lot of people make when they taste it right out of the gate and say, oh my God, it's this. That real wine, after 5 years, that's what it's going to be like eventually. And this wine has that completely mature fruit, wonderful acidity, nice little grip without being, in fact, more often than when we say tannin in California, it's like a negative. No, this is tannin as a positive accent to the back in the palate.
Oh, that's how I like my red wines. I like that little tannin bite and little austere character to it. I'm 91 points on this. I really like it.
No, I
Super balanced.
enjoy this wine tremendously.
A fierce appellation. Fronsac, of course. Arnoton. The 210 was really good from here as well. And the thing is, Fronsac, a lot of people forget that 200 years ago, Fronsac was considered one of the top appellations. But people just sort of forgot it. And they can be a little bit hard. But in a ripe year like this, beautiful.
Well, and also there's just so much more effort, like in most places, to go to the cheap land and produce great wine, rather than look to the areas that are extraordinarily expensive and try and buy property there. Because you can make wonderful wine in this area.
What's the price? How much?
$16.99.
What?
Yeah, killer.
Did they give it away to you or something?
Well, actually, they paid us to take it, and we're just making nothing but profit.
I like that. That's insane.
Yeah, no, for that price point, that wine, as I said, you put that in your cellar for 3 or 5, 8 years.
Oh, Fronsac age as
Just
well.
tremendous character.
And I like this. This has a sort of tobacco character.
And
sweet
this is more Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Sweet, ripe, even some of that leather kind of character.
Earth. Earthy. Juicy.
Almost tastes like old Grala Rose.
Yeah. Sweet tobacco, spice.
Really wonderful flavors.
I like it now, though. I wouldn't really wait on that. It's just so delicious.
Yeah.
And I like the finish where you get this sort of savory, juicy character with a sort of meatiness. No? I'm just thinking of being in a bistro in Paris with some steak frites, and you're just like,
No, that's. I think you got that one right.
I'm 90 on this. I almost like the Fronsac a little bit more, just because of that firmness to it. But I like the savoriness to this one. I'm 90 on this.
And I think this is the difference in a lot of things. If I was looking to tell you to buy 3 or 4 cases to put in your cellar, I would agree.
Yeah, I
Not at all.
agree.
But if we're having lunch today,
I'm with you.
Beaumont.
Chateau Beaumont. That's always an excellent wine.
Just
and
super
a classic,
value.
like you said, claret, Medoc, mostly Cabernet Sauvignon. And how much was it?
$17.99.
This is crazy. I didn't know Beaumont was that inexpensive. Oh, Medoc. Great stuff. There it is. If people only listen more, excellent value. You don't have to spend a fortune to drink
Under
outstanding
$20,
Bordeaux.
outstanding wine.
And a well-known producer, Beaumont. I was buying that in the 80s. Seriously, I remember buying a case of that 1985 Beaumont was probably more expensive than you're selling it for.
More than likely. Yeah.
That's amazing
It
price.
was like £8.30 or something.
It was not. I think it was £3.90. This has a little bit more freshness, more fruit right away. I'm thinking a little bit more depth. We'll see.
In fact, the Beaumont really, to me, reminds me of wines from the 70s, which I love that style, intrigue, that older character. This wine shows a little more fruit, yet more restrained than what the Arnaud was, and it has so many more layers.
Yeah, it has really good depth.
Yeah,
You taste it, and then I like when you say layers. It just.
And then, of course, your favorite little bit of grip in the back. This wine's got some grip, but it's got power.
Chocolate. Very character.
But it's really got palate presence. It's got some richness. That's the problem we have in California a lot with people trying to make the step from California Cabernet into Bordeaux or other areas. They always find them too lean.
Yeah.
But this wine has that weight and richness. It's 09, thank you, gives that ability, but it's that wonderful crossover vintage where you can get used to that flavor and really understand it.
But how do you explain to people like that? That's the problem. A lot of people are used to drinking fairly alcoholic and almost candied wines. How do you get them to come here where they think, oh, it's just, like you said, lean and lacks a bit of character? How do you get them there?
Good salesmanship.
Okay. But they come around in the end, they like it with food?
It's the real key is to be able to explain ahead of time. And I have a lot of people, as you know, my area of expertise is in Italy, and it's an unknown area for so many people. And everybody says, I want you to teach me about Italian wine.
Oh, that's
and
easier than
I said, okay, great. Now, the first thing we do is have to make you forget everything you know about wine because Italy is completely different. And it'll harm you if you think you know something. And that's kind of what this is. You have to sell somebody on, what you think you have. Forget about it.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is that when people start tasting wine, and if you want to learn, and you're trying to learn, the word you have to take out of your vocabulary is, I like it or I don't. Because the moment you say that, you have stopped learning. It's finished.
Interesting.
One of my favorite lines comes from Hugh Johnson. He said, when I taste a wine at the end, I don't want an exclamation point, I want a question mark.
Nice.
Wow. I mean, that's
right.
what real wine is about, searching, looking, not just some hedonistic pleasure.
I agree with you.
And I think this wine fulfills all that hedonistic richness. And wow,
it's two things, hedonistic, and also there's an intellectual side to it.
Yeah, there's
It
more
keeps you
going
thinking.
on. Yeah. But that's what 09 Bordeaux is about. It's got that sweet richness that will allow people to cross over, enjoy them now, but if you're paying attention and you want to open yourself up, wow, there's a lot going on.
Well, let's see what this is. I'm 92 points on it. I think that's the wine of the tasting for me, just because of that layered, a little bit more depth of fruits.
You spent too much time in England. You like Bordeaux too much.
That's true. Well, we like the acidity. Cabon la Pelouse. And the tan again is really good. Wow, Au Médoc, beautiful wine. What's the price?
$19.99.
Perfect.
And again, to find something comparable Cabernet-wise in the world,
That's
at
impossible.
$20 at that level,
No.
doesn't exist.
And this has real character. And what I love is the drinkability.
Yeah.
You drink it, you can drink a few glasses of that. It's not heavy.
Yeah. Well, and that's. I didn't check the alcohol out, and I don't. It
Sorry,
says 14,
sorry.
but nonetheless, that's. In fact, alcohol is sometimes really hard to understand.
But it has a balance of acidity.
Yeah, this wine has so much balance, you wouldn't really know that one way or the other it was, heavier or lighter.
Great tasting. I'm happy because I think 2009 is the greatest vintage of my career, and it's a wine that everyone has to own. And buy stuff like this.
And
don't
value.
get worried about prices.
Well,
hello.
you don't have to at under 20.
Yeah. Cheers. Great tasting. Thanks again, mate.